where there's a will, there's a way.
Quite literally. Will Tidwell, a younger gentleman.
I wish I didn't have this big heart. People just do nothing but hurt me. Anybody can dream the dream. Anybody can have a goal, but see,
You're gonna be a neighborhood hero. You just keep shining, young king.
all right, man, and I'm very excited about today's episode because yeah, man, it's one that's really near and dear to my heart. And again, I just think, today is all about just dropping some gems and giving some game away. Not necessarily about business, but more so about life today. And I think the 5 things I'm gonna touch on today are really gonna resonate and hit home for some people. In my honest opinion, I believe so. And so I just want to hop right into it. I don't want to waste any type of time. I want to get right into it. And so the first thing I want to touch on, I said, man, the funny thing about life is that when you just keep growing, and as you keep growing, you don't really have to actively try to cut people off. You don't have to do that, really. Because when you want better for your life and you striving for better in your life, when you connected to certain people and that's not necessarily the same thing they want, or what they want for their life doesn't align with what you want in any type of way, shape, form, or fashion, you don't have to cut them off because they're going to just start to disappear. And the best way I can think about it is like this, man. I used to have a friend, man, and I love him to death. I still love him to death. But what I noticed is that some of the things we used to talk about, some of the things we used to laugh about, right? Some of the things we used to, just spend our time discussing for hours. We were inseparable. I love those conversations. But then as you get older, you start to have responsibilities. Life starts to happen, the good and the bad. And the thing about those life things is that they can humble you and they can change you and they can mold you in ways that only you can be molded. But what I realized is that over those times when we were dealing with our own stuff, we weren't as tight as we used to be. But then when we were able to reconnect, I just noticed that our conversations were different. Our mindsets were no longer the same. You see, because I might be coming to him wanting to talk about a business idea or this new concept I came up with or what I wanted to do for my community. And then I noticed that he's still talking about the same stuff we talked about when we were 17 years old. And there's nothing wrong with going down memory lane. There's nothing wrong with having some laughs and some jokes and just being who we used to be. There's nothing wrong with that. But see, the thing is that sometimes we just can't get so caught up in who we used to be and the things we used to do and the conversations we used to have. It's to the point where we allow it to let us become complacent and never become the person that we were always meant to be. And when you one of those people that are striving to become everything you were meant to be and trying to figure out what your purpose is in this life and trying to figure out why God called you to do the things that you're supposed to be doing, when you're just trying to figure that out, and you connected to certain people that aren't, and they just cool where they are. They're happy being in the same place for year after year after year, man. You don't gotta cut them off. You don't gotta be that person. I know that's the kind of culture we live in where everybody brags about cutting somebody off. Everybody think that's a cool thing to do, and to be able to say that they let that person go and they took them out of their life. I get it. That's a cool thing to say and a cool thing to do. But really, to be honest with you, when you're just trying to strive to be the best version of yourself, you don't got to cut certain people off, because if they aren't on the same type of time as you, they'll just find a way to disappear. And then what'll happen is you will look up and you'll realize, man, damn, I haven't talked to so-and-so in years. And the thing is, you can't feel bad for that. Because that doesn't mean you don't love that person any less. It doesn't mean that you don't care about them anymore. It doesn't mean that they will never hold a special place in your heart ever again. That's not at all what the case is. I think you just come to that realization at some point in your life is that what I want and what you want just aren't the same things. What I'm chasing and what you chasing just aren't the same things. What makes me happy and what brings me fulfillment and what brings you fulfillment just aren't the same things. And when we see each other, when we do got some free time and we ain't got too much going, let's hang out, let's catch up, let's show love. But we just can't be how we used to be. And I think that's one of the hardest things sometimes we have to accept in this life is that even the people we don't want that we don't want them to disappear. We don't want them to not ever be in our life. But if we just ain't on the same time, I don't know what else you want me to do. And number 2, I said that don't be ashamed of starting over. I said some people never even had the courage to get back up. And I think the reason I was the mindset I was in when I wrote that is that because I think one of the scariest things you can do in this world is to not only dream a dream, but to actually put it out into the world, not knowing if it's going to work. And for a lot of people, every single person in this world at some point, even the most successful people, we've put something out into this world and it didn't work. And I think one of the hardest conversations we have to have is when we run into certain people that know us for that thing, know us for that idea, know us for that business that we had or that thing that we tried or that concept we did or whatever the case may be. And it's, are you still doing that? And then you have to have that real conversation and say, yeah, nah, no more. I'm actually on to something else. Or, oh, no, that didn't work out for me. And I think one of the most courageous things we could ever do in this world that even after all that happens, even when you're constantly reminded that what you tried the first time didn't work, that you were willing to try something else. Because for so many people, when it doesn't go their way, when it doesn't pan out, when it doesn't start to make sense, they don't even try to fight again. They don't even try to get back up. They don't even try to go back and figure out where they went wrong and what they could do better or how they can make this thing work going forward. They don't even try. But one of the most courageous things you could ever do is to bet on yourself, even if you lost the first time. Number 3, I said that, and this was more on the religious, on my spiritual side. I said that, I said, God, can you just forgive me? I said, God, forgive me for moving so fast that sometimes I forget to talk to you. Because isn't that how that is sometimes? Isn't that how it is sometimes? Sometimes we can just get so caught up in the busyness of our life, right? Sometimes things can be going so well, we forget to just say thank you. Sometimes we just wake up and start our day, taking for granted the person that gave us the power to start that day in the first place. And this isn't to make anybody feel bad for doing those things or for being busy or having a lot going on. But man, sometimes you just got to go to God and repent and just tell him you're sorry. Just tell him that you're so sorry that you got so caught up in the busyness of your life and doing the things that you're trying to do and are trying to accomplish the things you're trying to accomplish and being so obsessed with the dream and the goal that you want to see come to fruition. that you forgot to just have a normal conversation with them. And the beautiful thing about it is that even when we make that mistake, even when we do fall short like that, even when we don't come to him and just tell him thank you and tell him how much we love him, even when we do that, he still loves us. He still forgives us. He's still going to make sure you're okay. Now we're going to take a break right there. And we're going to come back with a quick commercial. And then we're going to hop into our last two. And then we're going to get ready to wrap this thing up, y'all. So we'll be right back. We got a quick commercial promo. And then we'll be right back. All right. Love y'all. Esquire Writing and Academic Services is a top-notch writing service for students and professionals. We provide help with writing assignments, research papers, essays, resumes, and so much more. Our experienced writers produce high quality and original work that meets the high standards of professionalism. Anything for your brand, for your business, for your schoolwork, and everything else in between. Stop letting not knowing what to say or how to say it or how to build your brand or how to show your brand to the world. Stop letting all that stress you out. And just give Esquire Writing and Media a call at 501-450-9100. Or you can even text us. Text us at ESQ at 450-9100. Now, we're here for you guys and want to help you, but it all starts with you. Give us a call and let's get started. We love you guys. All right. Now let's get back into the show. We got a couple more that I want to cover. And then we'll go from there. So this next one is it's pretty profound in my honest opinion. And something that I know that a lot of people can relate to. I said that make sure I'm just checking up on you. Make sure that it's genuine. And that is not just some gateway for them to continue to have access to you and to be connected to you, even when you know you should have been let them go a long time ago. Because the thing about these days is that so many people are pretending to be realer than they are. So many people are pretending to be perfect that you can't really tell what's real anymore. And the sad thing about it is that some people will say that, hey, I'm just checking up on you. I'm just making sure that you're okay. And they don't even mean it. But they'll use your feelings. They'll use the things that you're going through. They'll use that soft part of your heart because they know how much you really want somebody genuine in your life. See, that's the thing about it. See, they prey on that. That certain people that try to use it as a way to manipulate you, they're preying on the fact that they know how much you value people in your life that actually would come to bat for you. They know how rare it is to have people in our lives that actually do care about our well-being and do care about making sure we straight. And so even though they don't really care at all, even though that's not something that they really mean, they'll prey on that, hoping that, hey, I just want to be able to continue to have access to you. I just want to still be able to communicate with you. You still texting me back. You still getting back with me. You still replying to me. You still answering my calls. So yeah, I say and do anything I need to do just so I can continue to have you in my life. But I think the most frustrating thing about that is that if you really want me in your life as bad as you claiming you do, if you really want to be connected to me as bad as you saying you want to be connected to me, then why would you want to pretend like you care about me and pretend like you care about my well-being and making sure that I'm good when you could actually just put in the effort and actually do what it takes to make sure that I'm okay and to make sure that my well-being is straight and continue to have access to me and make sure that it's genuine? Why not just do that? But you know what that is? Because sometimes, man, we can get so caught up in what matters to us. We get so caught up in what we want. And what can we gain? And what we can get from things and from people. That we never slow down long enough to think about anybody else but ourselves. And I'm not saying that to judge anybody because I've done that. I've pretended to care about somebody's well-being when in actuality, I just wanted to continue to have access to that person. Because the crazy part is that we can see how valuable certain people are. People know how valuable you are, right? They know how special you are. They know how beautiful your heart is. They know how beautiful your soul is. They know that you have something special to offer to this world and even to offer to that person into their life or the people in your life. But just not everybody is willing to take the proper steps and do the proper things to properly cherish those things and to hold on to them tight. So they rather have ask you and they rather pretend and give you the bare minimum, hoping that you will accept it. And like I said, I've made my fair share of mistakes and I've had people do it to me. But I think that the beautiful thing about it is that even though we have all made that mistake or been on the other side of that mistake, make sure the people that claiming to check up on you and to have your back and they claim they want to make sure that you're okay, just make sure that it's genuine. And the crazy thing is you don't have to interrogate them to see if it's genuine. You don't have to browbeat them about it to see if it's genuine. It'll show if it's genuine if you just pay attention. But when they show you that sign, when they show you the hint at if it's real or not, take it for what it is and not what you want it to be. I think that's the real difference. And last but not least, probably one of my favorite ones, and it's kind of touching on what we talked about earlier when I said there are just certain versions of me I can never go back to again. Because have you ever just sat back, man, and just thought about all your mistakes, right? All the things you've done, all the things you said, all the habits you had, the mindset you had, the things you did, the things you didn't do that you should have done. And you ever just get disgusted sometime with that version of who you used to be? Wish you could change it. Hell, wish it never happened. I do that often. And one day I was just sitting there and I was so disgusted with some of the things I've allowed to happen in my life, some of the things that that have happened in my life, some of the things I've done in my life. And I just promised myself I'll never go back to that version of me again. I'll never allow another person to get me out of my character like that again. I'll never allow the people that I love and the people I care about, I'll never let myself go that long without checking on them again. I'll never allow somebody to have that type of power over me where this grudge or this anger or this bitterness takes over who I am and my soft heart and who I know I am. I'll never let that depression and anxiety have me like that again. I'll never not show up for myself when I know I'm the only person I got. I'm not gonna keep lowering my standards just because it's convenient or just because it's easy when I know I deserve so much more than that. I'm not gonna just be doing stuff out of boredom or just be doing shit to be doing shit when I know I gotta be strategic when you're trying to move a certain way and you're trying to build a certain thing. I'm not going back to who I used to be. Because if I do that, I can never become who I was meant to be. And there's nothing scarier in this life than dying and never reaching your full potential. So I just want you to think about that. And I want that to sit on your heart. And I want you to really feel that one. If nothing else I said today, I hope that closing message hits home for you. Because I love you. I'm here for you guys. And I just want to make sure that you're okay.